Good morning, everyone. Well, it is, I think, let me check. It is, oh, I've got a low battery on my watch. I gotta charge it up. It is 8:36 on Friday, August, oh God. I just had it. I think today's it's the 28th. The 28th of August on Thursday at 8:36. And today I'm going to start off with watering and then work on the side of the house where all of these super embarrassing boxes that I have let build up for a long while, and you guys are going to see that, and it's really embarrassing, but oh well, it's a project and I've got to do it. Okay, so let's start with watering like usual. Down a little bit. what it has for the last couple of days, but yeah. Still. Oh, hello, hummingbird. So hummingbirds are the point of all of these red flowers. Just aside from the fact that they are more aesthetically pleasing when they match. Oh no, I'm stuck back there. Okay. So we'll grab that. Oh. Oopsie. Let's water this. Okay. I don't think it's spider mite. It's just spider webs of some kind. And the hummingbird has not discovered the feeder in that location. So I'm gonna have to thaw out more nectar and move location, I guess. Needs to be somewhere where it's in the shade at least the majority of the day. I should put, you know what? I'm gonna put cat water right there. Water right there. That way that can drain into that, since the cats seem to like drinking water out of the freaking planter pots. I see them doing it all the darn time. It seems to be their preferred watering holes out of the freaking planter boxes. Although, this morning I did see my cat drinking out of this where it was right over there. I just, you got to put the water where they actually will drink it, right? Same goes for hummingbird nectar, but I had really hoped that I'd be able to have it set up in the shade, where it would get shade for the majority of the day. I don't think that they've discovered it. Either that or they really don't like the stuff that I made and then froze to preserve freshness. Maybe they can tell. Maybe it changes the structure or whatever of it. I'll have to look into that. Okay. Let's go work on that other thing now. Where'd it go? I need to prune back that salvia. It's like totally into the walkway. And I should probably do some other work out here too. Ugh, gosh, there's so much stuff to do all the time. Here it is. Here's the pile. For the record, yes, I am embarrassed that I let it get this bad, that I just threw the boxes here for months and months and months and months and months instead of taking care of them. Sometimes crap happens, right? Part of why I just tossed the boxes back here is because I am planning on using them as weed blocker, but I acknowledge the fact that this is actually straight up crazy, the weed blocker down in the back garden area by November at the very latest. At the very latest. It'll be November that I put this stuff down. I'm hoping that it will be more like maybe the week after I get back from my camping trip, because I have to do some inside stuff before my camping trip to get ready for that. Make sure my mom has everything that she needs, that all of the dishes are all caught up, that everything is easily accessible for her, that, you know, everything is nice inside, because, well, she doesn't do any freaking housework. I'm the only one doing any work in this place, and it's not like my mom cleans up after herself. She no longer believes in using a garbage can, for that matter. So I frequently feel like she's had a particularly active day. Like I just gotta walk around behind her cleaning up, which is ridiculous. Even my son wasn't that bad when he was a toddler, you know? I mean, they say that our parents have a second childhood. I don't think they're kidding, you know? And they are not kidding about the second childhood. So I've got probably enough sizable boxes that I do not have to worry about the little boxes. Just break down all of the boxes for the back garden weed blocker. I don't know. Something. That he had stored in our driveway. I am not really sure how to remind him of this deadline, because that he promised me that he would uphold, because a huge part of the reason why he missed this promised deadline is because his father passed away. And I, in spite of the fact that I did not get along with my ex-husband, who is the father of my child, my son's dad died. You know, I gotta give the kid some grace. You know, I gotta give that poor kid some grace. He's got a lot of stuff he's dealing with. It's just, now that I'm on this part of the yard project, it would be good if there was some kind of ETA on that becoming out of the way, so that I can work on getting the thing in the driveway that I'm responsible for out of the way. You know, I'll have to hunt down my pink slip on that thing so that it's easier to donate it and make sure that I don't have any liability sure I could try to sell it, but I mean, well, hello, spider. That is a spider that is alive. Hopefully not anymore. Hopefully now it is a flat, dead spider. Let's see. So, the reason why I murdered this spider, and I didn't murder the one that was camped out underneath my carport, is because that one that was under, god damn, there's a lot of spiders in there. My goodness gracious. Okay, wow. Look at all those spiders. Lots of spiders. 3 of these spiders are actually alive. Oh, crap! That's a black widow! I try and kill the poisonous spiders. Look at that. There's a black widow in there. Do you see that? Okay. Where did the black widow go? Okay, it's not in there. So, oh God. I don't see it now. I don't know where it went. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. Oh dear. Okay. Oh dear. There it is. Okay. Oh. Okay, so the difference between these spiders and that one there is the poison. You know, one under the awning, I don't think that one was poisonous. I think it was a wolf spider, but I might be wrong. I don't think that it was one of the poisonous varieties, though. Those tend to have warning labels in the range of the bright or super dark colors, and that cute little spider was just a gray one. I think it's some kind of a garden spider. It doesn't have the appearance of the ones that have the venom. I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe it is poisonous. I don't know if it's even still out there. I haven't looked for it for a couple of days now. So, yeah. But I'm gonna have to look in all of these boxes and make sure there's no frickin' spiders in them. My goodness. I don't know if I should try and do some meal prep for my mom to get dinner for the week ready for her. I know I can't put all of them in her mini fridge to have it all in there. I'll have to rely on my son to come over to check on her at least a couple times, you know? At least a couple times. Hopefully he will. Hopefully. I mean, he is 26 now, so he's certainly a lot more dependable than he was when he was 18 and I got cancer, you know? When that happened, that kid was in the midst of his first ever relationship, and I apparently did not raise him to be someone that would have my back in a crisis. Hopefully that's not the case when he gets married, because, you know, women have to be able to depend on their man. But then at the same time, you know, I dare say that if he was more interested in having a relationship with a girl than helping his mom with cancer stuff, that, you know, she will never be able to complain about divided loyalties, you know? So, at least there's that. Don't be sad for me, okay? I mean, I could have done a better job at being a single parent. I really could have. You know, I made mistakes. Nobody's perfect, but you know, when we make mistakes raising our kids are the ones that pay for those mistakes, you know? If you make a mistake raising your kid will be the one that pays for it, people. Those mistakes that I made with my son are definitely affecting my relationship with him now, you know? And that it will be the case for everyone, you know? Now surprise for everyone. One of the mistakes that I made is clearly that I'm a freaking slob. Also, I think I worked a bit too much. You know, I worked too much, and I also I let his father talk too much crap about me without telling Jason that, you know, Jason's my child, of course. I let his father talk way too much crap about me without correcting the record with my son. You know? Suffered for it. I should have corrected the record a lot more often than what I did. You know, but I did not want to be the kind of parent like my mom and my dad both were, constantly talking crap about the other parent. I did not want to do that because it really affects a child's relationship with their parent. You know, I didn't realize until I was in my 30s just how much my father had poisoned my ability to have a relationship with my mom. You know, I didn't. And that checked for spiders. Golly. That's not good, you know? That's not good. It shouldn't have taken me so long to realize that my dad is a narcissist with a God complex that is totally willing to lie to himself and everyone around him in order to get the worship that he believes that he deserves. And, you know, he's getting that worship now from his current wife, who he, a few years ago, gosh, I want to say around 6 or 7 years ago, he had left this woman that is his current wife. No, it was longer ago than that. It was like maybe 8 years ago. God, I don't know. between 8 and 10 years ago, he left her for a few months, okay? But he kept stringing her along, with, basically saying that he felt responsible for her, you know, because she wasn't able to drive, and she wasn't very close at that time with anyone in her family. So he strung her along with promises of working things out if she compromises on blah blah blah. The trouble is, one of the compromises on everything that this man, who is my father, wanted was that she not argue with him. Not only was she not allowed to argue with him, but she was not allowed to be jealous of him spending time with other women. My dad is not a good catch. He has not aged well. He is not the best looking man in the world. He is not rich. He doesn't have a huge bank account. He doesn't have a house. He lives in an apartment. He has a lot of junk. And clearly he doesn't see it that way, given that he's been paying to store this junk for literally decades. And, you know, on the one hand, I get it. He doesn't want to throw away books, okay? He's still storing the books that he inherited from my grandfather, okay? The trouble is, he has not been storing these books in archival safe storage. So all of these books probably have, oh God, bookworms. They've probably all got bookworms of some kind. They probably have a lot of issues with the bindings. You know, they've got all the issues that books that aren't stored in temperature controlled, air sealed, light sealed areas will have, you know? And my dad is so unhealthy now that he has not really been able to go to his storage places. I think he's got anywhere between 3 and 5 storage things. I think that they're, 10 by 10 storage blocks at the local whole storage place. And I'm gonna have to deal with all of that crap eventually. You know? And what the heck am I supposed to do with it? Bring it all over here? You know? My dad's a pack rat and my mom's a pack rat too. It's one of the few things those two really had in common. I guess these days they call it being a hoarder. Both of my parents are hoarders, you know? And at my dad's apartment, it is packed. It's all very neat, but it's packed. They just have a series of walkways, you know, between all of the piles of things. And, you know, on one hand, I don't have a whole lot of room to talk because, you know, look at my driveway, right? But on the other hand, God, you know, my brother moved out of town a long time ago, and he doesn't even live in the same state as me anymore. And he's got 2 toddlers. He's got 2 toddlers and a wife that has really high expectations. And I'm not saying women shouldn't have high expectations. We should all have high expectations. But, I'm gonna be honest, I don't trust her. You know, I don't actually trust her. I mean, she is actually a huge part of the reason why I have a yard vlog channel. You know? She's a huge part of the reason why I am trying so hard to do everything all by myself. Because I have to have as much of everything done as possible before my mom goes back home to God. You know, we've talked about this before, or rather I should say I've talked about this before. You know? So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go put that stuff into there. Okay, let's put this stuff. box for my kindling stuffs. Spiders. There's a spider right there. There. I think I just killed it. Yay. I got this thing, you guys might be able to tell. It says easyliftup.com. So my mom, she has fallen down a few times, and unfortunately, she just really, it seems like she just simply doesn't actually trust us to help her get back up, because when it happens, she completely makes herself into dead weight, and she won't help us get her back up on the ground, you know. So she has basically like 2 or 3 times last year we had to call the fire department for them to come out and help her stand up, and I had to call them twice this year, both of which were within a month of each other. So after that second time this year, I went ahead and I ordered this thing because it's supposed to be this really super strong ottoman, basically, that you know, you plug it in and turn it on, and you know, it's got a really super powerful air compressor, and it will basically lift you up by blowing up the ottoman that you slid under your bottom, and that will help you get back up. And I tested it, and it'll really work. She just will have to have her cane to like help herself stay stable while it's like blowing up, basically. You know, I think it'll work. I really hope that she doesn't fall down anytime soon, so that we have to test it with her. But if she does, next time we're prepared to not call the fire department again. Because that just, you know, eventually, I figured, eventually they're going to start charging us, you know? And that's freaking expensive as F. If they come out and start charging you, it's $1,000 a pop. I don't know about you, but I sure as heck can't afford that. You know, I gotta save up for a new car, you know? Gotta save up for a new car. 'Cause my car, I'm feeling like it's on its last legs here. Enough for a down payment. I should look into what my credit is. I'm not sure. Well, let me know what the heck kind of car loan I'd be able to get. Maybe I'd be able to get something good. Spiders. day trip. And this time I have hooked up all of my information about elevation so that if there's another tsunami warning, my mom won't freak out. She'll know what my elevation is, and she'll believe me when I say there's no danger. Last time I said there was no danger. This was on my camping trip at the end of July. When there was that, God, what was that? An 8.9 earthquake in the Bering Sea? Yeah, that was a lot, you know. I told her that there was no danger, but I didn't actually know what my elevation was. Just that I was pretty high up, so I was really confident that there wasn't any danger. But, like I said, I did not know what my elevation above sea level was. So, saying there's no danger is really different than proving there's no danger, right? She believed me once I was able to tell her that I was at 335 feet above sea level. In spite of being like maybe a quarter mile, maybe half a mile from the ocean. This was when I was at Salt Point State Park. I think that it was recycling last week. Well, if they don't pick it up today, or not today, tomorrow, then in theory it will be... Oh, hello, Spider. Okay, that totally did not kill it. Okay, I don't see where it went. Hopefully. hopefully I don't have any black widows pop out at me as I'm doing this one, because there was already something that looked poisonous that fell out of this box. Okay. So if it's not recycling tomorrow, because I do think that they picked up recycling last week. They only do recycling every other week. So if it was last week, then at least things will be ready for next week, which that'll be good given that, you know, it will be time for me to be doing my errands and all like that to prepare for my trip, since I'm leaving on the 7th to go somewhere that I'm not going to tell you guys where, because I don't want any surprise visitors that I'm not expecting. But any of my coworkers that I've told where I'm going and when, they are welcome to be surprise visitors. And just so that I'm completely clear, when I say coworkers, I mean people that work at the place that pays me money, since YouTube does not pay me money. YouTube does not pay me anything, because I've only got 100 subscribers, and I appreciate every one of you, but I also know why you're watching, because, you know, I've got too much crap to do to worry about if I'm facing the camera. I'm also 99% sure that my mom is the only one that actually watches my videos start to finish. So yay for moms. Anybody that makes it to the end of the video should comment, I love my mom. Yep. And then I'll know if anybody actually watches. Got It's 10 o'clock right now. How far in? Okay, an hour and 11 minutes in. It's probably... Okay. Okay, I see spider webs, but I don't see any spiders yet. Okay, no spiders. Yay, no spiders. Anybody that makes that comment, I'll know that you watched over an hour. Yep. And that will be impressive. That car in my driveway. I really miss not having a car in the driveway. No, I really do miss that. Good idea. I should donate it. I no longer have the cover for it, but I do have all of the other pieces. if they are, I mean, they can scan the inside of your house. They can scan the inside of everybody's houses. Unless you've taken precautions. And you know what those precautions are. You know? The conspiracy theorists were right. You know? They were right. We really should have been wearing tinfoil hats all along. Gosh, doesn't that make me feel like a lunatic to say? Because there's been that attack on us, you know? And they really started going for it after 9/11, you know? COVID was just the most recent, and holy crap, were they successful. But, you know, yeah. I think some people are starting to pop their heads out and look around and think, what the heck was that? Maybe. Maybe some people are. I don't know. You know? I was one of them, you know? I wore a mask. I got the vaccine and 2 boosters. I don't know about you, but I sure as heck wonder what the heck is in those vaccines. I really do wonder. I mean, they've already come out and said that there was different animal DNA strains in the vaccines. Why did they do that? No spiders there. Okay, no spiders popped out at me. Yep. let it get away. I will let it get away. To email the lovely man that made these weighted trekking poles. He is a really nice old dude. You know, oh gosh, we were talking because, honestly, his order forms that he made up, there were a few areas that I was supposed to fill in, but there wasn't a label on them, on the Google Doc or whatever that he made. There were these blank boxes that I was supposed to fill them out, I guess, but they were blank, so I didn't know what was supposed to go in there. So you know, I didn't send him my CRV code and the freaking expiration date. Apparently it auto-populated for the wrong date. So I talked to him on the phone a few times to get things squared away for my order, and he was a really nice dude. And you know, when for whatever reason we started talking about how old we were, because you know, he was surprised at some of the things that he was hearing someone from California say. And you know, I told him, well, you know, I'm 47, so I'm not going to stay a young idealist for forever. And he told me, well, I'm 22 with 50 years of experience. And, you know, that really resonated with me as a great way of describing your age. So in the future, I'm going to be 27 with 20 years of experience. Yep. I like that. Or maybe I'll go with 22 or 25 years of experience. I like that too. 22 was a good age. Plumber's tape. Huh. Okay. I wonder what the heck was in there that sent me plumber's tape. I think it's a spider-free zone. What do you guys think? Can't see from that side, so let's hope it's a spider-free zone. do you know? I broke this one down right away. The darn bin. I guess I could have some ready so that, you know, I can just add a few more because any little bit helps. So, yeah, I'll do that. I'll get some ready. Any little it's freaking mapping us. I guess that whoever's in charge of that particular project might have been Coast Guard. I don't know. Wish I had my monocular with me. I should get it myself. I should get it from the truck. Amazon custom size boxes or whatever that they've sent so that they're, I don't know, not a pre-made box, except they are pre-made boxes and they use to me, they seem to actually use more cardboard than a similarly sized pre-made box does. So I really wonder why in the world they started using those. Maybe for those occasions where they're out of certain box sizes, so that there won't be any more of these situations where they send someone an item this size in a box this size, you know? Maybe. 'Cause that crap was ridiculous. I'm gonna have to call it full, because if I load it up with any more, then did you see Gray Girl walk by? There's also a little hummingbird over there on the salvia. Oh, there it is. There's the little hummingbird eating the salvia. Oh, there it goes. Oh. Okay. That is a little boy. It's got a red chest. Boy hummingbirds need to eat too. Is it still? Yeah, it is still over there. Oh, maybe it's a little girl. Huh. I don't... Okay. I thought I saw red, but I guess I didn't after all. Where the hell did it go? God, I don't know. Somewhere. It's somewhere right there, and I don't freaking see it. I don't know. Must have zipped off and I didn't notice it or something. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. It's still there. I do like hummingbirds. I do. I think most people do. Well, you know, I have made a lot of progress, even though I haven't freaking finished. Oh my god, there was so many boxes. I cannot let it get that bad again. That was freaking straight up ridiculous. Straight up ridiculous. I don't think I broke down any boxes since, well, the last time I made a breaking boxes down video. Probably. Whenever that was. Maybe last year? I don't know. I think last year is probably pretty accurate. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just get a bunch of these envelopes ready with the addresses scraped off and stuff. I don't know. I haven't bothered scraping addresses off of any of these other boxes that I just did. Because I let it get so abundant that it was overwhelming. Something to put all those into. I can't stuff anything more into that. I can't put anything more into it. I think that my sunblock, I need to reapply. As long as I am in the shade, I don't have to worry about the fact that I need to reapply quite as much. I didn't tell anybody, but a couple of weeks ago, I went to Catholic Mass. I've never been before, and I am actually not Catholic. But my experience there was a very positive one, in spite of the fact that I felt completely out of place. I don't know about all of you, but so my mom converted at a Baptist church when I was in grade school. I was in 5th grade when she was born again. And, you know, something about the experience at the Baptist church it was just wrong for me. You know, maybe it's right for a lot of other people, clearly, given that Baptist is there's a lot of people that participate in that denomination, but for me personally, it just didn't resonate, I guess you could call it. And as an adult, I'm sort of the opinion that when you go to God's house, it's supposed to be about respecting God, not having a rock concert. You know, I mean, the rock concert, in theory, it brings more people to God, but I just don't really feel like it's probably the most respectful of God and the sacrifice. So, my experience at a Catholic church, you know, I felt like an out of place dweeb because I am not a Catholic. But Catholics respect God. It really felt like worship there, you know, and maybe it's just my experience experience with other churches because, well, my experience at the Baptist church was not a positive one. It just generally felt like many of the people at the church that my mom found and went to for so long just really didn't behave in a way that would give people a particularly great impression of Christians. I'm not going to say what church it is, okay? In any case, it's not. My mom has started going back there again. She went there every Sunday for, God, from the time I was in 5th grade, basically. All the way up until about 7 years ago, while I was in the hospital with my first round of chemo. They proved to me why I should never ever consider going back there, because well, I think that I actually talked about this in one of my previous videos, but that lady, she basically got them to call the cops on my mom, and those cops, they showed up. They had one of them anyways, he showed up, he was talking to my mom, and the entire time he was talking to my mom, he had his hand on his side arm. The entire time that he was talking to her. And, I was in the hospital going through chemo at the time. My son still lived here. So my mom and my son were both here at the time, and the officers were talking to them, and one of them had his hand on his sidearm the whole time. I came so freaking close to losing my mom and my son on the same day while I was in the hospital being attacked by demons. And, thankfully my mom prays every day, because back then I was an atheist. God protected my mom that day. But I was I found out about the incident that I was crying and really upset, so upset that I, in fact, got a nosebleed. I had that nosebleed for 4 or 5 days. Because when you are on chemo and your blood is really thin, you're not as able to make blood clots. So, I think around then is when I had my first blood transfusion too. Sorry, watching the hummingbird. Yeah, that night, after I had found out about that incident and all like that, one of the pastors from that church showed up to talk to me. And I told that guy about that woman that had, I was convinced she had been the one to call the cops on my mom. And I did not realize at that moment that I was looking in the face of the person that called the police on my mom. It was that pastor that called the police. And, I understand in this day and age with all of these mass shootings that people do need to be careful, okay? Oh, there was 2 freaking hummingbirds up over here at the same time, fighting over that salvia. Oh. That is God telling me I've got more interesting things to focus on than the past. don't know if anybody likes super feet, but this is the insole that I tend to really like. Yeah, high impact support. It's what I stick in my safety boots, and I admit I do actually change my insoles the recommended amount every 3 months. I mean, I have to. I put a lot of miles on those boots. A lot of my coworkers don't, but I pick up the slack. Starting to be in the sun, and you guys know it can't handle the sun. It'll shut off and stop recording because of the heat. Let's move it a little bit here. Okay, that'll give me, I don't know, a few more minutes maybe. Probably only need that one big box just in case the nectarine doesn't make it. I'm pretty sure the hummingbird tree is going to make it. It's doing really well. I'm gonna call this good until tomorrow when I find out if it's recycle day or not. Let's get this stuff there. up that one last bin. No. No, I'll just take it. Basically the same as what it did before. Okay, I need to call it a day because it's getting warm, and yes, I've made progress, but yes, it still looks like crud because there was a lot of freaking boxes. Anyways, I am going to go drink some water. It is 11:23, and you know, I wish I had managed to finish this project, but, well, I ran out of space in the bin, so we'll finish it next time. I hope all of you guys drink some water and wear your sunscreen.